Hello, Culture Matters podcast. We're back again with another culture content. Follow me, Jay Doran underscore the culture man on Instagram. I want to talk about preparing an exit. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see short clips on business, leadership, life, culture, and so much more. And today I'm elaborating on the idea of preparing for an exit of your business. And I think there's a whole other side of selling a business that's distant from the investment banking side. Uh, the mathing, the presenting the organization in the best light possible for a third party audit, the valuation and creating deal flow and having interviewing the right investment banker or investment bankers or team to help create a situation of buyers and interest around the business to get the biggest multiple and yada yada yada. We could talk about that separately as we continue to grow in that world and bring on different experts on the Culture Matters podcast. But today I want to speak in specific in my domain, or a higher expertise of domain, which would be just the human side of that conversation with yourself if you're the potential seller. Uh, I have interviewed a handful of like salespeople of businesses, and one thing that came up a handful of times was the idea that of not wanting the employees to find out, and even another as well as not wanting customers to find out. And I thought, you know, it's it's no wonder it's a time of anxiety for someone selling a business if they're omitting to their customers and they're lying to their employees. Because sins of omission and sins of commission, as Peterson would say, leads to repression, which can make us resentful, deceitful, and arrogant. Repression leads to anxiety. Anxiety without an aim, without a plan, and then without sacrifice and behaviors to act out that plan, because we need to say no to some things and yes to the behaviors that are congruent with that plan in order to for that anxiety to become meaningful energy that creates purpose, a sense of purpose. As that's a human conversation. And those, although we might admire people in positions of authority, influence, and power, that or though others might admire us if we're the ones owning the business, it doesn't mean we're in it where we have an where we've been able to escape being human. Don't think for a second that business owners don't have the same troubles that you do if you're listening to this and you're not a business owner. Don't think that billionaires don't have everyday problems. If even the process of the selling of the business has a degree of strategic omission, strategic deceit, um, how could not further obfuscate the person at the helm, the authority, that how did we know if I'm selling the business? How do I know I'm selling it for the reasons that I think I'm selling it? So, you know, this I wrote a couple questions down. How do you know you just don't need an education? How do you know you just don't need therapy? I bring that up. You know, how do you know you just haven't hit your lid in your business? As because the business has grown as a consequence of, let's say, actualizing the potential of the founder, the potential of the business owner, their value system acted out in their behavior, in their sacrifice, in their labor, other people modeling that because responsibility is modeled, accountability is given in speech or taken in action. We've got a present ownership for a period of time, has sacrificed their time and space to build the business. And now, let's say there's this idea, oh, I'm going to sell. How do we know we just don't We just haven't hit the lid of what we currently have come to know in this world. How do we know that after that time of the business being sold, there won't be a massive regret because all we needed to do was work on this over here or that over there, and the sale was done reactively out of anxiety. Because think about that further earlier statement about, in the absence of, or like an aim, in the absence of a vision, well, then there is no plan, and then there's no challenge to our competencies and our character. Competencies is what we know, character is what we're willing to sacrifice. And so now we've replaced ourselves in our own business. We've hit a lid in our education and awareness and competency because we've got to create the next level for ourselves, for the business. But what if we don't know that we even have to do that? We don't know how to do that. And now we now there's this whole business where at one time was just energy. It was just a vision. It was just a feeling. It was just an emotion. It was just an intuition. It was just like that chip on the shoulder, that admixture of shame and guilt and pride and fear and enthusiasm, and it created excitement. There was meaningful to us. It was a purpose driven vision. There we saw where we were going. We had a plan, even if it was implicit, not explicit. It was our own. We were following that intuition. We're following that emotion. We're following that irrationality. People are we're serving our customers. There are relationships with the customers. It's our culture. But as it became a business, as it became an enterprise, the farther and farther and farther we are from our customers, from our culture, from our and our vision is now real. The vision exists. It's not just in our mind, it's outside our mind. So now we've lost our purpose because we've had the baby and now it's an adult and it's not in our womb, metaphorically speaking, of course. This idea, it's real now. You can touch it, you can feel it. So, but what do we have? That was our identity. What's our identity? Well, the answer to that is that's up to us. It's the next level in this infinite climb. What is the vision? Where are we going? What is the plan? How do we get there? And now when you add in all the other people that includes at that level of an enterprise, it's not just the founder, it's leaders around them. That's an alien form of communication for founders, generally speaking, without education, without unlearning things and learning new things and putting those things into action. So, of course, we're just going to sell. So, my questions to you listening to this is, before you do, and even if you even if you choose to do after you've done the self audit, the self introspection, the self analysis, and have brought in help on that part of it, it'll just make you more self aware and sound and of integrity to do the due diligence necessary to interview the right partners to do the sale, to get the biggest return on your time, to get the highest valuation, would be to come from integrity, from a courageous trust, as Peterson would put it. I like the way he says that. And this would be, ask yourself, do I need, like, before you sell the damn thing, do I need therapy? Do I need more education? Do I need time to think? Who can help me? Am I open? What am I afraid of? What else am I actually interested in doing other than serving my customers? Because you have to reminisce on when you first started and how you showed up for the people that you served, because that's where the culture is. That's where the meaning is. It's not in an office solely speaking about numbers. It's with the people. You're going to go and sell and then get off in some extra, some other place far, far away, or maybe, down the street, giving soup out at a kitchen. And that's transcendent and meaningful. But please don't miss the point that that's service. You're gonna invest time. It's that you're serving people, whether they're investing their capital in goods and services from a sense of the ability to respond to the market pushing them and seeking goods and services, right? They're a part of the system. There are two tranches here. There's those a part of the system and those not a part of the system. The system of capitalism, our community, those in it. So that would be your customers. You have business, they're exchanging capital for goods and services. You're serving them. It's a meaningful interaction. You have your aim, you have your competence, you have your sacrifice. There you go, your culture. Then you do your philanthropy. Those are people out of the culture. They are taking, they're receiving your goods and services or your capital. They're receiving that. You are getting, you're getting something. You're getting something beyond either of you, something spiritual in the giving of the capital. So, and it's not an either or. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's a both and, because there's something spiritual in both the exchange of goods and services from those inside of the community that are your customers that you're serving. You're exchanging here's the good, here's the service for the capital. We're present, we have a relationship. I'm acting out my aim, I'm acting out my values, right? Competence, I have something to offer to the community. Sacrifice, I'm not doing other things, I'm sacrificing for the community. That's one dimension. The other is the philanthropic. Those that do not have, they're not buying goods and services. They're receiving goods and services. They're outside of the culture. They're the downtrodden. Your example in both places, business and outside of, shows redemption, hope, humility. It's balancing the powers that it's balancing. So I just want to plant that word picture in your mind. It's like, you may not want what you think you want. Those that want to sell may want to hold, thinking they want to sell, but and those that want to hold may want to sell and have convinced themselves that they want to hold. Don't underestimate the power of education. Don't underestimate the power of self-analysis. Don't underestimate the power of having help in figuring out what are you actually called to do? Because if your business is your calling, there will be nothing that will replace it. Please follow me on Jay Doran _ the Culture Man on Instagram. Leave us a review in the Culture Matters podcast, and I will see you next time.